Gemini, how to rediscover your inner light and bring back your joy and playfulness. There's a gentle glow within you, Gemini, that has never truly gone out. It is a sparkle in your eyes when you discover something new, the laughter that bubbles up when you let yourself be free, the lightheartedness that makes others feel safe and alive in your presence. Yet somewhere along the way, life may have asked too much of you. Responsibilities piled high, heartbreak left its mark, and the pressure to be serious slowly began to cover your natural radiance. Without noticing, you may have dimmed your own joy, tucking it away as if it were a luxury rather than the essence of your being. But here is the truth. Your inner light has never abandoned you. It waits patiently beneath the noise, ready to shine again the moment you turn toward it. Rediscovering this light is not about pretending pain does not exist or forcing happiness where it feels unnatural. It is about remembering that joy and playfulness are not signs of immaturity, but of resilience. They are reminders that even after life's storms, the sun always finds its way back through the clouds. Gemini, your spirit was born to dance with wonder, to remind the world of possibility. If these words stir something within you, stay with me. Together we will explore the path that leads you back, not to new self, but to the radiant self you've always been. And if this message resonates, let it ripple outward, like share and invite others to remember their light too. Gate 1. Remembering the inner light you thought you lost. To rediscover your inner light, Gemini, the very first step is remembering that it was never truly gone. Too often, you may look at yourself and feel as though the brightness you once carried, the joy, the playfulness, the easy laughter, has vanished under the weight of time. But the truth is more compassionate than that. Your light was not extinguished. It was only hidden like the sun behind passing clouds. Remembering is about gently peeling back those clouds and allowing a rays to touch your spirit once again. Think back to your earliest memories of joy. Perhaps as a child you would lose yourself in stories, fascinated by the worlds your imagination could create. Or maybe you were the one who loved to talk, to ask endless questions, to laugh at small things that others overlooked. These were not meaningless quirks. They were signs of your inner light, the playful spirit that defines you as a Gemini, your curiosity, your love of discovery, your ability to see humor even in difficult situations. These are gifts that were always meant to stay with you. Somewhere along the way, perhaps because of criticism or the heavy pace of life, you believed those gifts were frivolous, that adulthood meant leaving them behind. But your soul knows better. Your essence is joy, and joy cannot be permanently buried. Let's take an example. Imagine a Gemini man who, as a child, was known as the storyteller. He could make his friends laugh until they cried with his silly tales and playful energy. But as he grew older, people told him to be serious and focus on real work. Slowly, he silenced that storyteller, trading playfulness for practicality. Now, in his 30s, he feels restless, as though something essential is missing. He may think he needs a new career, a new relationship, or a change of scenery. But what he truly longs for is a return of that storyteller, the joy of sharing, of play, of lightness. By remembering the boy he once was, he begins to realize that his light was never gone. It simply waits for him to invite it back. Or consider a Gemini woman who once filled every room with laughter. She loved to dance, to sing off-key, to embrace silliness without shame. But heartbreaks taught her to guard her heart. Disappointments whisper that life was too serious for play. Slowly, she forgot how to laugh freely, and she began to see her own light as something childish. Years later, she wonders why she feels disconnected from herself, why she cannot find joy even when life looks successful on the outside. The answer lies in remembering. Her laughter, her playfulness, her inner light were never flaws. They were her medicine. And to rediscover them is not regression, but liberation. Remembering also requires you to notice the small ways your light still shows up, even when you think it is gone. Perhaps you find yourself laughing uncontrollably at a silly meme, or feeling a spark of joy when you stumble across an old hobby. These are not accidents. They are reminders. They are your soul's way of saying, I am still here. Paying attention to these sparks is the first step in fanning them back into flames. But why is remembering so important? because you cannot reclaim what you have forgotten. If you believe your joy is gone forever, you will not search for it. If you convince yourself that playfulness is something only for children, you will suppress it. Remembering allows you to challenge the story that says your light is gone and instead affirm the truth. It has always been with you. The work is not to create it, but to uncover it. For Gemini, this remembering often happens through reflection. You are a sign ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication, thought, and memory. Looking back at old journals, photographs, or conversations can spark the memory of who you once were. Talking with childhood friends can help you see the ways you have always carried joy. Even asking yourself, when did I feel most alive, can reconnect you with the moments when your light was brightest. Yet, remembering is not only about nostalgia, it is about reclaiming. The goal is not to live in the past, but to bring the essence of that light into your present. The child within you who loved to play is not gone. They live inside you, waiting for permission to come out and laugh again. The young dreamer who believed in endless possibilities is not naive. They're your guide back to hope. By remembering them, you allow their voice to influence your choices now, reminding you that joy is not a distraction from life. It is the very essence of life. And here lies a powerful truth. Gemini, joy is not frivolous. Playfulness is not wasted time. They are nourishment for your soul. Just as your body needs food, your spirit needs laughter, curiosity, and wonder. To remember your inner light is to remember that you are not meant to carry heaviness alone. You are meant to dance between light and shadow, to bring levity where others see only weight, to remind the world that joy is as sacred as struggle. So begin here. Remember. Let yourself recall the moments when you felt alive, free, playful, radiant. Do not dismiss them as childish or irrelevant. They are the compass pointing you back to yourself. The Gemini spirit thrives when it is allowed to explore, to laugh, to create, to play. Your task is not to reinvent yourself, but to remember the radiant being you already are and always have been. Gate 2, healing the wounds that dimmed your light. Once you begin to remember that your inner light has never left you, Gemini, the next step is to understand what caused it to dim in the first place. Because remembering alone is not enough. You must also acknowledge and heal the shadows that told you your joy, your laughter, your playful spirit were too much, too naive, or too inconvenient. Healing these wounds is like clearing the dust from a mirror so it can reflect your true brilliance again. For many Geminis, the dimming begins with criticism. Your natural curiosity, your endless questions, your desire to laugh and explore, these qualities are gifts. Yet perhaps as a child you were told, stop talking so much, you're distracting others, or you need to be more serious. These words, repeated enough, can plant the belief that your joy is a flaw, and so you begin to hide it. The healing here lies in rewriting those old stories. Your curiosity was not a weakness. It was an expression of your brilliance. Your laughter was not disruptive. It was medicine for those who forgot how to smile. To reclaim your light, you must forgive those who cannot see it and remind yourself that their inability to honor your spirit does not define your worth. Another wound that often dims Gemini's light is disappointment. You are a dreamer, someone who sees endless possibilities. But when dreams fall apart, when relationships fail, when careers stall, when friendships fade, you may start to believe that joy is dangerous, that hope only leads to heartbreak. Slowly, you protect yourself by dimming your own spark. Yet joy does not disappear simply because life has been painful. Healing here means allowing yourself to hope again, not because life guarantees perfection, but because your soul thrives when it is curious, playful, and open to possibility. Disappointment is not proof that joy is foolish. It is proof that you are alive, that you dare to care deeply. To heal is to honor those losses, while also trusting that your light can shine even brighter because of them. Consider the Gemini woman who once loved to sing, but stopped after a partner laughed at her voice. For years, she avoided singing, believing she was not good enough. Yet the wound was not about talent. It was about shame. Healing for her means singing again, even if only when she's alone, allowing joy to flow regardless of perfection. Each note becomes an act of reclaiming her light. Or think of the Gemini man who once poured his energy into building a startup only to watch it fail. Embarrassed and heartbroken, He convinced himself that dreaming big was reckless. For years, he buried his playfulness under practicality, but his soul ached for adventure. Healing for him meant forgiving himself for failure, realizing it did not define him. By giving himself permission to dream again, he reopened the door to his light, not in spite of failure, but because of the strength it gave him. Healing also requires looking at how you abandoned yourself to please others. Geminis, with your social nature, often adjust to fit the people around you. But sometimes, in trying to be what others expect, you dim your true essence. Perhaps you stopped being silly because a partner wanted you to act mature. Perhaps you stopped exploring because family wanted you to choose a stable path. These compromises may have been necessary at the time, but healing means asking, where did I betray my own joy? Where did I silence my own laughter to make others comfortable? And then gently, compassionately, choosing yourself again. This does not mean rejecting responsibility or seriousness altogether. It means balancing them with joy. Healing is not about ignoring the realities of life, but about refusing to let those realities smother your spirit. As a Gemini, you are at your best when you weave playfulness into responsibility, when you bring curiosity into your work, when you allow laughter to coexist with effort. Healing means giving yourself permission to be whole, to be both serious and silly, both responsible and playful. One powerful way to heal these wounds is through reconnecting with your inner child. Sit quietly and imagine yourself as a child, radiant and playful. What did you love? What made you laugh? What made you feel free? Now, speak to that child. Tell them you are sorry for the times you abandoned their joy to fit into a world that did not understand. Tell them you see them, that you love them, that you are ready to let their light shine again. This practice can bring tears, but those tears are healing waters washing away the old shame and making room for joy. Healing also means surrounding yourself with people who honor your light. If your circle only values seriousness, if they mock your playfulness, your soul will feel trapped. Seek those who laugh easily, who encourage your curiosity, who remind you that life is not just about survival, but about wonder. These people are mirrors, reflecting the joy within you that is waiting to be expressed. And finally, Gemini. Healing is about forgiving yourself for the times you hid your light, for the years you forgot to play, for the ways you silenced your own laughter. You were doing the best you could in a world that did not always understand your radiance. Now that you know better, you can choose differently. You can choose to honor your light, to let it shine without apology. In truth, every wound that dimmed your light can become the very reason it shines brighter now. Criticism teaches you the value of authenticity. Disappointment teaches you resilience. Self-abandonment teaches you the sacredness of self-trust. When you heal, your light does not return weaker. It returns stronger, infused with wisdom and compassion. So breathe deeply, Gemini. You are not broken. Your joy is not lost. Your light is not gone. It is waiting just beneath the surface, ready to rise the moment you give it permission. Healing the wounds that dimmed it is not just about reclaiming joy for yourself. It is about allowing your spirit to shine so brightly that others are reminded of their own light, too. Gate 3. Reawakening your joy and playfulness. Now that you have remembered your inner light and begun healing the wounds that dimmed it, Gemini, the next step is to actively reawaken the joy and playfulness that are your birthright. Rediscovering your light is not a passive process. It requires intentional action. Choosing to engage in life with curiosity, laughter, and wonder, even in small, everyday moments. Joy is not merely an emotion. It is a state of being, a frequency that amplifies your spirit and reconnects you with your authentic self. For Geminis, joy often comes from exploration and variety. Your mind thrives on new ideas, experiences, and perspectives. One way to reawaken playfulness is to deliberately engage in activities that spark curiosity. This could be as simple as exploring a new hobby, learning a language, or taking a spontaneous trip to a place you've never been. The goal is not mastery, but delight. In the process, in the discovery, in the simple act of being fully present. Each playful experience reconnects you with the childlike wonder that has always lived within you. Consider a Gemini woman who once loved writing stories for fun, but abandoned it for practicality. Reawakening her joy might mean dedicating 10 minutes a day to free writing, allowing her imagination to roam without judgment. At first, she may feel awkward or self-conscious, but as she persists, the playfulness returns, the laughter, the delight, the sense of creation without expectation. Each word she writes is a thread reconnecting her with her inner light. Similarly, a Gemini man who loves music but stopped playing guitar because of work responsibilities can reclaim his playfulness by strumming a few chords each evening. The music, once a source of pure joy, becomes a doorway to his forgotten self. It reminds him that play is not separate from growth. It fuels creativity, reduces stress, and reconnects him with the essence of who he truly is. Reawakening joy also involves reclaiming spontaneity. Life often encourages routine, efficiency, and predictability, but your soul thrives on the unexpected. Allow yourself to say yes to unplanned adventures, to embrace moments that surprise you, to let laughter guide you instead of fear or obligation. Even small acts, a midday dance in your kitchen, a spontaneous call to a friend, a whimsical doodle on a notepad, can reignite your sense of play. For Gemini, these sparks accumulate, gradually restoring the radiant energy that life's seriousness may have dampened. Playfulness is also about social connection. Geminis are naturally communicative, and your joy flourishes when shared. Reconnect with friends who encourage your humor and curiosity, and let go of relationships that drain your energy or suppress your light. Surround yourself with those who see your laughter as a gift, not a distraction. In the company of such mirrors, your joy will expand, reinforcing the internal shifts you've been cultivating. But perhaps the most important aspect of reawakening your playful spirit is self-compassion. Many Geminis carry a subtle perfectionism, an internal critic that scoffs at silliness or doubts the value of joy. Healing requires gently telling that inner voice, it's okay to laugh. It's okay to be playful. It's okay to delight in the world without justification. By giving yourself permission to enjoy life without the weight of constant responsibility or judgment, you reclaim the freedom that is your natural state. Reawakening joy can also be an act of creativity. Try experimenting with art, movement, or improvisation, activities that require presence, imagination, and spontaneity. For example, a Gemini might try painting without a plan, creating whatever emerges from the brush. The beauty of this process lies not in the outcome, but in the playful engagement itself. Each creative act reconnects you to the childlike curiosity and wonder that form the core of your inner light. Remember that joy is contagious. As you reclaim your playful spirit, you do not just benefit yourself. You influence those around you. Friends, colleagues, and loved ones are drawn to your energy, inspired to rediscover their own light. Playfulness is a form of healing energy. It radiates outward, reminding the world that life can be fun, spontaneous, and magical even amidst challenges. Finally, Gemini, reawakening your joy is also about embracing your duality. You are capable of deep thought, reflection, and responsibility, and yet you are equally capable of delight, humor, and adventure. The light within you thrives when these aspects coexist. Allow yourself to oscillate naturally between reflection and play, seriousness and fun, depth and levity. In this balance, your inner light shines brightest, fully integrated and alive. The key is intentionality. Do not wait for life to hand you joy. Seek it, invite it, create it. Celebrate small wins, laugh at mistakes, marvel at simple pleasures. Each act of playfulness, each moment of delight, is a reclaiming of the light that has always been yours. Your joy is not a reward for surviving life's challenges. It is the essence of living fully. Gate 4, nurturing lasting joy and integrating your light. Now that you've begun to reawaken your playful spirit, Gemini, the next step is to nurture it in a way that it becomes a consistent part of your life. Rediscovering your inner light is only the beginning. Sustaining it requires conscious cultivation. Joy, like any aspect of the self, needs attention, practice, and gentle reinforcement. Without this, your light may flicker again under the pressures of life. One of the most effective ways to nurture joy is through daily rituals that honor your playful side. This does not have to be elaborate. It can be as simple as setting aside a few minutes each morning to do something that sparks curiosity or delight. Perhaps it is sketching, journaling, dancing to your favorite song, or exploring a new corner of your neighborhood. The point is to create consistent spaces where your light can thrive, unimpeded by obligation or distraction. These small acts accumulate, slowly strengthening your connection to joy and playfulness. Consider a Gemini woman who incorporates a short, creative hour into her mornings. She experiments with writing, painting, or even whimsical photography, allowing herself to be messy, imperfect, and free. Over time, these small acts of play cultivate a resilience that shields her joy from the pressures of work, family responsibilities, or social expectations. Her inner light becomes not just a fleeting spark, but a steady flame. Another key aspect of nurturing joy is aligning your environment with your light. Surround yourself with spaces, people, and objects that encourage curiosity and playfulness. A cluttered or oppressive environment can subtly drain your energy, while a space filled with color, music, movement, and laughter can nourish it. Geminis, in particular, are highly sensitive to energetic cues. Your surroundings can either amplify your light or suppress it. Choose wisely. Social mirrors also play a critical role in sustaining joy. Seek friends, colleagues, and companions who celebrate your playful spirit rather than dampen it. Notice how your energy shifts around different people. Some may unconsciously trigger old patterns of seriousness or self-doubt. Others may ignite your curiosity and laughter. Nurturing joy is partly about conscious selection, inviting into your life those who reflect and encourage your light, while gracefully letting go of those who dim it. Playfulness can also be cultivated through intentional experimentation with novelty and spontaneity. Geminis thrive on variety, and the mind loves surprise. Take yourself on many adventures. Explore a new hobby, learn an unfamiliar skill, or try something you've always found intriguing but never dared to pursue. Each encounter with novelty activates your inner curiosity, stimulating joy and reinforcing your sense of aliveness. For example, a Gemini man might take an improvisational theater class, not to become a professional actor, but to reconnect with spontaneity, laughter, and presence. These experiences train your nervous system to recognize joy as a natural, recurring state rather than a rare exception. Equally important is the integration of play into your responsibilities. Joy does not exist only in free time. It can be interwoven into your work, relationships, and daily tasks. Approach challenges with curiosity. View obstacles as opportunities to learn and laugh, and allow humor to soften moments of stress. This integration reinforces a message to your subconscious that your inner light is not conditional. It is a fundamental part of your being. Healing the resistance to sustain joy is another essential step. Geminis often carry subtle guilt for prioritizing fun or play, believing that life demands seriousness. Releasing this guilt is transformative. Remind yourself that playfulness is not indulgent. It is restorative. It replenishes your energy, enhances creativity, strengthens relationships, and improves mental clarity. When you embrace it fully, your inner light becomes both a sanctuary and a beacon. Consider the story of a Gemini woman who previously suppressed laughter at work, believing professionalism required stiffness. She began intentionally injecting small moments of joy, a playful comment in a meeting, a humorous observation in an email, or a short break to doodle. Initially, she feared judgment, but over time, these small acts lifted her energy and positively influenced her colleagues. Her light was no longer hidden. It radiated outward, inspiring others while reinforcing her own joy. Finally, nurturing joy requires self-compassion and patience. Your light may not return fully overnight. Some days may feel heavy, and playfulness may seem distant. Accept these fluctuations as part of the process. Joy is not a destination. It is a journey, an ongoing dialogue with yourself. Treat setbacks gently and celebrate small victories. Each smile, each moment of curiosity, each spontaneous laugh is a thread weaving your inner light back into a durable, radiant fabric. Gemini, sustaining joy is ultimately about alignment with yourself, your passions, and your natural rhythms. When you consciously nurture your inner light, it transforms your daily experience. Tasks feel lighter, challenges more navigable, and interactions more vibrant. You do not merely survive. You dance through life radiant, playful, and fully alive. Gate 5. Living your light fully and sharing your joy. Having remembered, healed, and nurtured your inner light, Gemini, the next and perhaps most profound step is to live it fully. integrating joy and playfulness into every aspect of your life. Reclaiming your light is not simply a personal journey. It ripples outward, influencing the world and the people you interact with. The more you embody joy, the more others are invited to rediscover theirs, creating a cycle of light that extends beyond yourself. Living your light begins with conscious awareness. Notice the ways in which you naturally respond to life. Do you lean toward curiosity, exploration, and laughter, or do you default to seriousness and restraint? By observing your habitual patterns, you gain insight into where your light is thriving and where it may still be dimmed. This awareness allows you to choose actions that support your playful, radiant self rather than suppress it. Integration into daily life is key. Geminis thrive when joy is not reserved for special occasions but interwoven into ordinary moments. For example, take a mundane task like commuting or cooking, transform it into an opportunity for creativity or amusement. Listen to music that sparks energy, narrate your journey with humor, or imagine whimsical scenarios. By consciously infusing play into routine, you train your mind and body to associate everyday life with your inner light, making joy a constant companion rather than a fleeting experience. Relationships serve as mirrors for your light, as they did for your shadow. Surround yourself with people who reflect and celebrate your joy, those who encourage laughter, curiosity, and spontaneous connection. At the same time, recognize those who diminish your light, not as adversaries, but as reflections of places you may still need to heal or protect. By curating your social environment, you reinforce your radiant energy, creating spaces where playfulness is nurtured and valued. Consider a Gemini woman who brings her playful energy into her friendship circle. By initiating spontaneous outings, sharing humorous stories, or hosting creative projects, she not only rekindles her own joy but inspires her friends to reconnect with theirs. Similarly, a Gemini man who introduces games, improvisation, or imaginative challenges into family life invites laughter and lightness into his household. In each case, living your light becomes an act of healing not only for yourself but for the community around you. Another aspect of fully living your light is embracing your passions without shame or hesitation. Whether it's music, art, storytelling, or intellectual exploration, actively engaging in what makes your heart sing reinforces the sense that your joy is both valid and essential. Do not wait for permission. Give yourself the authority to express, create, and play as naturally as you breathe. Your authentic light cannot thrive when postponed or hidden. It grows when nurtured through action. Living joyfully also involves emotional resilience. Life will continue to present challenges, and moments may arise when fear, doubt, or heaviness attempt to overshadow your light. In these times, remember the practices you've cultivated. Reconnect with play, laugh freely, engage curiosity, and honor your feelings without judgment. These tools allow your light to persist even amid difficulty, teaching you that joy is not the absence of struggle, but the presence of your radiant self despite it. Gemini, playful curiosity fuels your creativity and mental agility. Use it intentionally. Explore new ideas, experiment with unconventional approaches, and embrace novelty without fear of failure. Each playful endeavor reinforces the neural pathways associated with joy, strengthening your ability to access light at will. Remember that mistakes and unpredictability are not threats. They are invitations to explore and laugh, further anchoring playfulness into your character. Finally, living your light fully requires self-compassion and celebration. Recognize each moment when you allow yourself to smile, each decision prioritize joy, and each act of playfulness as a triumph. Treat these victories as milestones on your journey. Understand that the integration of light into your life is ongoing. By celebrating yourself consistently, you reinforce a habit of joy, ensuring that your playful spirit remains resilient and vibrant. In essence, Gemini, Gate 5 is about embodiment. It is about no longer compartmentalizing your joy, curiosity, and playfulness as secondary aspects of your personality, but placing them at the core of your existence. When you live your light fully, it touches every interaction, every choice, and every experience. You become a beacon, not only reconnected with your authentic self, but inspiring others to do the same. Life transforms from a series of obligations into a canvas for creativity, laughter, and boundless exploration. Your journey from remembering to healing, nurturing, and finally living your inner light is a profound act of self-love and soul alignment. Gemini, the playfulness, curiosity, and joy that define your essence are now fully reclaimable. Step into them, radiate them, and let the world reflect back the brilliance that has always been within you. Conclusion: Gemini, your journey back to your inner light is a testament to your resilience and your capacity for joy. You have remembered the playful spirit that once danced effortlessly through life, healed the wounds that dimmed your brilliance, nurtured your light with intentional acts of curiosity and creativity, and learned to integrate joy into your daily existence. This path is not just about feeling happy. It is about reclaiming the essence of who you truly are. Your joy is not a fleeting emotion or a luxury. It is the very core of your being. By allowing yourself to laugh, explore, and play, you honor the child within and give your soul the space it needs to thrive. The more you embrace your light, the more it radiates outward, inspiring those around you to reconnect with their own joy. Relationships, work, and everyday experiences become richer, infused with creativity, presence, and playful energy. Remember that living joyfully is an ongoing practice. Life may still bring challenges, but with the tools you've cultivated, curiosity, playfulness, self-compassion, you can navigate them without losing your spark. Each small act of light, each deliberate choice to prioritize joy, strengthens your inner brilliance and reinforces the habit of living fully. I invite you, Gemini, to continue this journey intentionally. Celebrate your playful moments, honor your creative impulses, and allow yourself to be fully seen in your radiance. And if this message has resonated with you, leave a comment sharing how you reconnected with your inner light. Your story may be the mirror someone else needs to rediscover their own joy.